Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn, and today we're kind of doing a little bit of a different video. I thought it'd be really interesting to kind of talk about, I think, something that a lot of artists struggle with, which is kind of paving out your art career and kind of pivoting if you wanted to try something else or if something's really not working out. I know a lot of us struggle with like honing on to a certain art goal that we want or wanting a certain career path and something not working out. And I kind of want to discuss that a little bit today. And along with that, I want to redraw my icon. So yes, my user icon for all of my socials is very outdated and I think it needs a rebrand. So kind of to pair with, I guess, a refresh of my career and a refresh of what I want to do with my art career, I thought it was time to also just refresh my look. So we're going to do a little bit of both. So let's jump into today's art video. All right, let's kick off this redraw. And I just really wanted to do a refresh for, I guess, my profile picture and just kind of a refresh on my outlook on my art career. And I thought this would be such a fitting topic to really dive into because I think one of the hardest things for artists is wanting a certain career path or maybe wanting to do something very specific with our art, and maybe it doesn't really pan out and there's some guilt that goes with that. And so I kind of want to talk about that and at least share my experience, and maybe it will help some of you guys who might be struggling with a very similar feeling. So first and foremost, just to kind of kick off where we're starting with this, is I have been pursuing a very particular art career for a really long time. Back when I was entering college, I had a very specific job that I wanted to get into. Well, I mean, it kind of expanded like a bit more than just that specific job. Because, you know, when you're younger, like high school, college age, like the world is kind of your oyster. Anything you can think of is like a cool job that you would like to do. So I kind of varied from a few things. Like one of the things I wanted to do when I entered college was make comics. So I was making my own comic on the side through high school and probably all my years of college, actually, yeah. And it was my first comic and my first baby, and it was super fun, but also super challenging. And I really enjoyed it, but back then, it was hard for me to think of a career in comics. Like, I wanted it, but then, I guess, I don't know, maybe just the college system wore me down and made me think of it as something that wasn't realistic. So I kind of pivoted away from that. And then I did some freelance stuff and internships with graphic design. I really wanted to have like a backup to fall on that I guess is a little bit more marketable. Just some type of job that I could have basically anywhere I went. And then I guess my big pie in the sky job for when I was younger was I really wanted to be a concept artist. I think that was kind of my long-term goal all throughout college, was like the thing I really wanted to get. So throughout college and kind of after college as well, I was applying for different internships and jobs through like Nickelodeon, Disney, DreamWorks, even like smaller studios, game studios, anywhere I could find a place to apply, I did. I got a couple of callbacks, but I think at most I got 3, which was really hard and disappointing for me at the time because I was just working so hard and I was like trying my best with like the tools I had, and you know, there's just certain things that didn't really play out for me in that setup. Like for one, I don't think it's super crucial that you have to go to art school, but looking back, I think I should have went to a more tailored trade school to help with my skills. My general university degree did help me excel at drawing, but I don't think it helped in the way that I needed it to. So I had that, and then the field is also very competitive, and looking back at my portfolio, I just wasn't there yet. Art-wise, I thought that I was hot shit, and I really wasn't there yet. But that's kind of hard to see when you're in it. Like, looking back now, I can reflect on who I was and where I was, and, you know, it's easier to see now, but it's very hard to see when you're in the trenches and really trying to get that job. So, that out of the way, though, I was pushing for those jobs for a really long time. I graduated college and moved on to other jobs. I got jobs within like the graphic design sphere, marketing, and other things. And in that kind of couple of years past college, I discovered that I could also make art on YouTube. I still wasn't getting any luck with any of my concept art applications. I think there's so many factors that too, but I don't want to get on another tangent. But either way, I wasn't really getting any great hits on that. So I was like, I'm going to try out YouTube. And I would say the years that I spent here early on YouTube were really great. And I felt that I grew a lot as an artist. I've been on here now a total of 6 years when this video comes out. And I think I've grown a lot as an artist, going back and looking at my first videos compared to now. But I still had the long-term goal of I'm totally going to get into concept art. I want to do concept art for games and movies and all these things, and that's what I'm going to do. And so with my channel, I pivoted towards content that was character-driven. Like I do my monster mashes, which I still really enjoy. Like, don't get me wrong. None of this is saying anything is bad, but I love doing monster and creature designs, and I was like, I can make videos that can feed into me developing more skills in the thing I like, and then also developing portfolio pieces so that I can keep applying for these big jobs, right? So, worked my butt off for years, and then COVID hit, and everything really changed for me. It was a lot harder to keep up with videos. The drive to do art kind of ebbed and flowed. I very much don't rely on motivation for my art. I just was very much, this is my schedule. I'm like, what is it? It's not motivation, but just having like a schedule and making it a habit, basically. I had developed my art into a habit, but I still enjoyed it. But COVID just made it so much harder to enjoy making the videos and then enjoy the hustle process, I guess. I just was so in it, but once the world got flipped upside down, totally changed. So during that time, it was a heavy reflection on kind of what I want to do with my career. And I think one of the biggest sticking points with that is actually from end of last year and into this year, which will be 2021, and we're currently in 2022 in case you're watching this in the future. I really still, in the back of my mind for years, wanted to get into concept art. I've still been pushing for it and doing random portfolio hustles whenever I saw a job posting that I wanted, and nothing was really biting. I was kicking my butt and having really, really tough work weeks when I was like, oh my God, this job just posted. Let me hurry and get like 3 new art pieces done in like 1 to 2 weeks that maybe are tailored towards that job. And one of those in particular, very recently, was Avatar Studios. And I was so excited because Avatar Studios is probably my biggest inspiration when it comes to my artwork and my creation process in general. And I'm like, oh my God, how cool would it be to work for the company that is like my biggest inspiration in life? So I dropped everything that week that it was posted. I didn't really see friends. I didn't really do anything fun. I kind of paused YouTube videos and other art plans I had. And I'm like, this is my priority. And it was a tough week to 2 weeks. I think it was like pushing 2 weeks. I did a full character turnaround, a full creature design, and then some poses for the character as well. And while I was in the thick of this process, I really had kind of a little bit of a self-reflecting moment of, man, this is taking a lot of time and a lot of energy, and I'm so stressed. Is this going to be worth it? And I kind of talked to myself in that moment and was like, look, we're going to try our best and we're going to hustle, but if this job application doesn't pan out, maybe I should reconsider what I'm doing. And that moment was kind of the make or break it. If I was able to get into a studio job, then maybe I'd keep pursuing it. But if I don't get any type of callback, I gotta figure something else out. Because this was also around the time where, I mean, it's still kind of struggling, where my YouTube channel has been going up and down too. So it's been like on both sides, one of me maybe not being able to financially ever grow to the point of being a full-time YouTuber. And then on the other side, also applying for concept art jobs and nothing really biting. So when I didn't hear anything back, it's been a few months since I sent in the application, and I'm assuming they filled all the positions. I had a realistic, chat with myself. And I think this is where it becomes hard for artists. I'm very much now a proponent of it's hard to give it a good name, but it's like giving up, but not giving in, I guess is the best way to describe it. At least for me, I have hustled for years to try to get into the industry. It could be because of my portfolio, my art skills, or even my lack of practical job experience. There's so many factors that could go into it, and I could rattle my brain all day trying to figure out what's wrong with my work. But instead of me trying to hustle into something that hasn't been panning out, I want to divert my energy to something that I really would like to pursue. So early on in this video, I was talking about how one of my first art loves was comics. And I feel comics have really exploded recently. I know all through COVID, sales of them were up. And I think there's just a new life that's being breathed into the comic industry. And I've always loved telling stories, making my own characters, and that's just something that I love. And it's a place that I could highlight my monsters. It's a place that I could highlight my character designs. It's a place that I could highlight the stories that I have. It's literally everything I want in a job, So after not hearing back from Avatar Studios, I think I've kind of officially, quote unquote, given up on getting into the animation industry. And I want to share this experience because I think a lot of people are terrified about giving up on something that they've worked so hard at for years, or something that they've just been their heart's just been so set on it for a long time. And I think that's really difficult for artists to do because we've had maybe a vision of how our artwork will be used or a place it will be. For sure, I 100% sat there and after watching an animated movie, dreamed of my names in the credits or the cool concept art that I made is on the end credit scene. Lots of really cool places that I would love to see my artwork. But I wanted to sit down and have a realistic outlook for myself of I don't want to spend my entire career hustling to something that might not pan out. And I do think that it's a good thing for you to work toward your goals and your dreams, but also be open to change and other possibilities. So I have kind of, like I said, unofficially, I guess it's officially at this point, kind of given up on getting into concept art. Unless I'm really approached by a company or something, I don't think I'm going to really push for it much. And so, like I said, I feel I've said this over and over, but this video, the purpose of it is to show that it's okay to pivot and try something else or kind of give up on something that you've been working towards. So I've been I graduated college in 2014. Yeah? 2013, 2014. One of those two. And I have been working ever since then to try to get into the industry. I've been applying for jobs almost monthly to get into the animation industry, redoing my portfolio, redoing my resume. I did through Rooster Teeth, they had a portfolio review. I did that, got feedback from a director that was there and, pivoted all my work to be like that. And it didn't really pan out there either. So it's really hard to see a potential other outlook when you're really in deep of making that thing that you want, So even with all that work and everything I've put into it, I've come to peace with the potential that it won't happen and that I want to pursue something else with my career. And so I think this was a very long-winded way of telling you guys that it's okay to give up on something you've been trying for a long time and pivoting and maybe trying something else out. I mean, hell, like, I know a lot of people that have been trying to get into the industry, but then have pivoted to just making it a hobby, you know? Like, there is no shame in changing who you are as an artist and, like, what you're striving for. If you want to just more enjoy art and not have a job tied to it, that's 100% legitimate as well. Even if you were working towards, like, you know, your work being in games or movies or things, and then you're like, you know, I'm just not really about that anymore. That's okay. All of us change over time, and our goals and life and our whole personality and being just completely changes over time. And we start to realize what we really need in our lives and in our careers. And God, it is a hard thing to come to terms with sometimes, though. I've been really struggling with the idea of scaling back on things that I've been pushing for. Like, for a long time, I really wanted to be like a Twitch partner. I've thought about, like, oh man, like, I really want to be a full-time YouTuber. I want to be in this concept art stuff. Like, I have put a lot of work into all of those avenues, but now I've realized what I really want to do, and that's just to go back to comics and kind of give up on those other things. Yeah, if they come up in the future, or if I'm given an opportunity to do anything like that, then hell yeah, I'll try it out. But I've just realized that I need to pivot my energy towards something that I really want to achieve with my career, and, you know, just focus in and hone in on that, and not continuing to kill myself on vamping up my portfolio every time a really cool job gets posted. So yeah, I think that's kind of where I'll leave it. I know it was a lot about talking about where my experiences are, and I just hope it helps you guys, because all of us struggle with wanting to know what we want to do with our lives, unless you've already found that dream job or what you are really enjoying. All of us kind of struggle with that and need to find something that makes us happy. So just know that you are allowed to change what you want to do. You're allowed to pivot and try something different with your art career. And you're allowed to totally, like, quote unquote, give something up. Like, even if you've worked many years at it, it is okay to give up on something and try something new. And that's not just me giving permission. It's just more overall. It's okay for you guys to try something different and do something different with your lives. So I hope you guys got something out of this. I know this is a very different video than my usual things. I usually talk about, like, the art piece more so than, like, a topic. But this has been on my mind a lot, and I just felt it was very fitting to go with this redesign of my icon. It's like a redesign of me, both career-wise and my physical icon. It's like just a nice refresh for 2022. Even though it's not like a new year, and it's not like, oh my God, I'm making New Year's resolutions. It feels very similar, where I'm kind of painting myself anew and giving myself a new outlook on what I want to do with my art and my career overall. But I would love to hear from you guys if this was helpful, or if you would like any other, like, insight videos like this. I have a couple others that I want to do, like the kind of logistics of being an online creator, or going through, like, how I schedule, like, my workflows and other things. There's a lot of, like, informational videos I'd love to make for you guys, but I'd like to hear from you if you enjoyed this, you know, found it informative. Did it help you at all if you're struggling with this type of stuff? And if you want me to make kind of more of these videos in general. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to my ramble about mostly my career and the ups and downs I've been through over the past, I think it was 2013. So we're basically at 9 years right now of my career. I don't really count the time I was in college, because I was doing stuff while I was in college, but that's not like a full career time. So we're going to just say 9 years. But, you know, just, I hope it helps, and just know that you guys always have a community online of other creators, and we've all kind of struggled with similar things. And just know that you're not alone in any of your creative goal struggles, I guess you could say. But either way, thanks again, guys, so much for stopping by and checking out this video. And it feels a little weird to be like, and hit that subscribe button after like a heart-to-heart chat, but I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button and join our community. It really helps the channel. And if you want to chat with other artists, check out our Discord. We'll be over there, maybe chatting about today's topic. But anyway, thanks again, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.